Good morning, all. Apologize for being late, but I'm pretty much always late, so what else is new? This is Latin American on time. Living in Miami and spending a lot of time in Argentina. After living in New York, I got used to a very rhythm of what was late and what wasn't, and I do have to say, I really prefer the slower pace. A party starts at 9, and people start showing around 10. Yeah. So, well, let me look here before I see if there's anything I should go off on. So he's talking about the EFT. Let's see. Wow, a lot of people here already. Any questions already in the queue here? Yeah. Well, let me just kind of look and see what people say and see if anything comes to mind to me to talk about. If you've got something you'd like me to talk about. The subject is so vast and so beautiful, so elegant. But it also requires a lot from us. It's a saying, enlightenment is free, but it ain't cheap. It's only going to cost you, well, everything. And in return, you get everything. It's a strange thing. But, yeah. So if anybody's got something on their heart or their mind, just please bring it up. Right now, nothing is coming to me to speak about. I had a bunch of ideas earlier, but none of them have gotten the nod as of yet. So, med hazing. Hey GP, why did you stop making EFT tapping videos? They were the most helpful resource I found on YouTube. I resonate deeply with your EFT work and wanted your insight on a long-standing problem. I'm not depressed, but I experience a chronic freeze or shutdown state. Without urgency or external pressure, I struggle to initiate even basic tasks and go into numb avoidance like phone scrolling, despite feeling background guilt and awareness. Yeah, yes, boy, it's part of the process. Yeah, part of the process. I function mainly on adrenaline, when deadlines or responsibilities appear. This has been consistent for 3 to 4 years. Feels like nervous system freeze or initiation paralysis. No, it's not laziness. It's absolutely not laziness. Matter of fact, I really don't know any lazy people. There are people who are demoralized, who've kind of given up and just can't quite find the motivation to do anything, all because of, you're exactly right, the freeze that happened a long time ago. I'm trying to understand the emotional root EFT could target to release this pattern at its core. Yes. Christina, who is my Girl Friday, the one helping me just keep my sanity, keeping all this going together. Doing an entire course on EFT sessions every Saturday with the group on Zoom. Everybody can confirm it's the best. Paid, can you give me a link? YouTube is not allowing me to send a link. Well, isn't that interesting? I see if I can, alright? Matter of fact, I may even have one in here already for it. Yes, yeah. Almost out of date. Hold on a second. Let me give it to you. It's just GP Walsh / EFT. Walsh.com, of course, .com. Save and show. Yeah, that's it. gpwalsh.com / EFT. I kind of ran out of energy for doing all of the EFT stuff on YouTube, and instead decided to turn this off. Decided to focus on those that were really ready to go deep into it. You see, in most instances, any kind of energy healing technique is used mostly therapeutically. In fact, I can't think of any other than myself that uses it existentially, uses it for long-term transformation. It's a very powerful energy healing tool. It can, in fact, bring about enormous relief of symptoms, but it unless it's done in a different way than most are doing it, it won't have long-term effect, because you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right that this is a deep-seated thing, as you are saying. I'm looking back a little bit. You sense that this has been going on for 3 or 4 years, which means it's not something that is simply going to respond to symptom relief, because what's at the root of it is a deep wound, deep traumas that are quite intransient. And until you create the kind of inner environment that allows for transformation, and understand how we get stuck where we get stuck, and how it forms a whole sense of identity, so that we're thinking of ourselves in terms of our difficulties, and then struggling to get out of those difficulties, you can see it is such an intermixed. I mean, the tentacles of these things are everywhere, and they're not just in your mind. It's not, you can't think your way out of it, because it's the entire way your program, the body has programmed itself based on the assumption that it's not safe, it's not enough, it's never going to be safe, people are not ever going to help me, I'm alone, etc., etc., all of which was the actual experience you had that created the traumatic rift in the first place. That doesn't just, I had kind of these mixed feelings when I put EFT videos up there, because I know they work, and everybody tells me, wow, these are great, nothing else has worked for me, right? And I'll tell you why in a second. But when I put it out there to say, come, engage yourself, immerse yourself in this, because that's the only thing that is going to bring long-term transformation, the kind of transformation that really does heal the essential traumatic wounds that have created all of this, and then it ripples up. It ends up being, oh, that made me feel so good, thank you very much. And off they go, and then they're, oh, what about, can we do this one? I mean, it's like you're skeet shooting, right? And I want to go right to the heart of it, because if you go right to the center of where all of these symptoms are coming from, you get them all at once. You find your entire default level of well-being rises and does not backslide. It is no longer about symptoms and healing symptoms. It's not, I don't use this as medication. I use this as a transformative tool. And that's what made me become leery of just putting up more EFT videos. I've been doing it since 2009, I think. Yeah, I mean, that long I've been doing it. And it seems as though, oh no, no, not you, not the cat. No, go, no, not now. That's Saturn. Saturn loves to hang out with me, but I've got this equipment around me, and I've been disconnected, and cats have come up here. No. It's a professional organization here, isn't it? Yeah, one guy running everything. where was I? Yeah. And so it was like, is it valuable? Yes, right? But I want to bring people to real freedom. I mean, long-term freedom. A new way of being in life. And I can't do that just by throwing up EFT videos on various subjects. It will bring relief, and my whole ambition with it, my whole desire for it, is that some will become attracted to it at a deeper level. They've had enough of just symptom relief and this technique and that technique and the like. Because it isn't really the technique that brings about the healing. It's not the hammer that builds a house, it's the carpenter. It's the way they're used. And in my particular case, the reason why it's so effective is because of my deep background of spirituality, and specifically of the non-duality that I talk about here. Because as you dive into emotional healing, what you find is you have a sense of identity that, due to the traumatic events and wounds we've experienced, we have become disconnected from our actual nature, our real self. And not only that, we've been disconnected from our body, so we don't feel that much anymore, which is, of course, the only tool a youngster who is not loved, not being taken care of, and is feeling horrible and afraid and the like, the only tool the child has, because we're powerless, is to stop feeling. And that's what happens. We just suppress the feelings, and then it shows up in all sorts of symptomatic ways. So if we can reconnect it, because life happens from here down. And if we start distrusting our feelings, we get more and more in our minds. And the whole sense of identity, knowing who you are, becomes just a mental picture that feels empty and weak and and unmotivated and the like, numb avoidance. All of that is because we have become disconnected from life, from our bodies, and from our sense of who we really are. And at first, that sense of who we really are just all of the various natural qualities every individual has that makes them an individuality. And the freedom for those to begin to come out and be expressed, so you can just be yourself, which is effortless compared to trying to be somebody else, which is what we are trying to do, which is what is so exhausting. But eventually you see that it's like, there's more to this than just me personally and the qualities I have, the good stuff and the like. You begin to sense a deeper dimension where you can begin to ask the question for real, okay, who am I? Before all the conditioning, before the program, before all the trauma, before all of that, who am I? And now it's a spiritual quest. You're on a path. The relationship between them is, to me, is obvious. I tried just non-dual teaching and found people were using it, staying in their heads, not connecting to anything, and it became yet another great way to suppress. Right? And those practicing emotional healing, there was a place, because there was no sense that the person I believe myself to be isn't who I am. So we keep trying to fix the image we have of ourselves, and it's like giving medicine to a ghost. It just keeps changes and shape. Who are you? The answer to which is not something that changes. The only thing that is going to truly satisfy us and bring us contentment is to find that which is not just shifting. So, my fellow here, Jesus said, don't build your house on the sand, which is time, space, impressions, programming, conditioning, culture. These are all shifting and changing. What doesn't shift and change? if you find that, you find yourself, because that's what it is. As Rumi beautifully put it, he said, I went looking for myself. No, I went looking for God, and I found myself. I went looking for myself, and I found God. So for me, the EFT is a tool to help just create enough space, enough safety, and self-acceptance inside of us that we can begin to understand all of this, which then, the safer it is, the more self-acceptance there is, the more all the stuff comes up that has been inhibiting and hurting you on its way out, because it becomes safe now for it to dispose of all of the defensive things that it had to do in order to survive, and allow you to come out in total. And as that happens, our capacity for deeper inquiry happens. So we can inquire deeply into that question and not be afraid of the answers. Not being afraid when something pops up that we've really dearly wanted to hold on to, and realize that it's hurting us. We're literally holding the hot potato instead of letting it go. There's just a preparation of the heart and faith and all sorts of things to allow you to truly abandon that which isn't you and discover what is. And that's the key. I mean, that's the whole promise. That's what enlightenment is. Simply knowing yourself as you are. It's not this mysterious, magical kind of thing up there. Well, it's amazing. Just every insight. But every insight you have, every time you awaken, just to realize, my friend, that I'll just call you Med, that you're already awake to the degree that you're going into numb avoidance. It's like, you know it. You know, even while you're doing it, and you can't control it, you have no power over it, you know it's happening. That's enlightenment. That is the flower opening, because how many people just do it and don't know they're doing it? Oh yeah, this is great. No, it's not. It's not. It's a disturbance. It's an addiction. It's a masking. It's an attempt to avoid feeling, because underneath it, the feelings are all bad. And under that is just self-rejection, self-hatred, constant striving to be better, and the pain of that, and the utter failure of it. So notice, you're already having awakening experiences, because you know it's happening. And what you're reaching out for now is what's the solution? I know it's happening. I want to be free of that. What's keeping me bound? Right? My answer is that what's keeping you bound is simply a lack of guidance, clarity of what actually to do, a lack of genuine understanding and the kind of information that brings it into focus, and an environment in which you could begin to start to feel safe enough to accept yourself as you are. That's pretty much it, and that's the program that I designed, and that's where my attention goes. I want those interested in I want people, you want to be free. God damn it, I want to be free of this. In order to be free of it, you have to know what's keeping you in bondage. And it's not just you need a better version of yourself or this technique or that technique. It's much deeper than that, but it's much simpler than that. It can be very pointed, and you'll be surprised how fast it actually works when all the elements are there to open that door to deep emotional freedom, which leads to spiritual freedom, which leads to awakening, to who you not only are now, but have always been. The image that gets formed in our minds of who we are, due to the fact that we're just, we're in the body-mind mechanism is in this state. We mistake our conditioning, the conditioning of reactivity, the conditioning of emotions, and the conditioning of thoughts and mind. We mistake that for ourselves. You're not your conditioning. That's the key. And we don't want to just kind of get better at, at one particular aspect of the conditioning. We want, as they say in Zen, have you swallowed the ocean in a single gulp? One thing, right? Like the house of cards, that one thing, the whole thing will fall. That's my ambition now. And there's plenty of room. So far, not a whole lot of people have been responsive to it, but those that come stay. Well, that was a long introduction, but that was, I think it was good, useful, because there is a bridge between emotional healing and self-inquiry, and in this particular time that we live in, which is so heavily mental, so heavily egotistical and materialistic, divisive, polarized, we must deal with the emotional toxicity that has been programmed into us, that is in our culture, that is pervasive everywhere. You can't just take some cute little spiritual phrase like, it's all an illusion, and think you're going to get anywhere with that. Yeah, it is, but so what? That illusion has heavy artillery and weapons and hate and greed and all sorts of stuff. It takes way, way more than that. There's a dimension of heart and of devotion and of insight that will transcend it. I think, yes, Nisargadatta, he said, the mind creates the abyss, the heart crosses it. That's what we're trying to do, cross the abyss over to the freedom that is just pure love and fearless. How's that, my friends? Did the link that I put in there work, everybody? Yeah, weird how YouTube is unwilling these days. It's amazing all the things that have changed. I sat down to do my class yesterday, and to Zoom, I open up Zoom for the class, and I get a little notice. You've been updated. Nothing works. Thank you. How about a little warning? So they have finally added something to turn off automatic updates. Thank God, at last. Which I have. Let's see. So, is there a link? Is there a link? Does the link work? Does the link work? Somebody? Anybody? Yeah? No? Yeah? Yes, it works. Thank you, Christina. And you, Med. Just call you Med. Is that helping? It's about this link. I'm notified, despite the fact that I watch and consume a lot of GP's tapping videos. I am notified. Why I am notified? Why I am notified? Despite the fact that I watch. Oh, you're not notified about my videos like this and stuff? It's amazing. Yeah, because you remember, guys, YouTube is owned by Google, one of the wealthiest companies the world's ever seen, and its mission in life is to make money. That's its number one mission. Make money, keep the stock price up, right? In any way that they possibly can. That is the most important thing. They own YouTube, so that's what this is about. Right? So, if it is in their interest to keep you informed about my videos, they will. Or to suggest my videos, they will. But it's always in their interest. What can you say? Modern corporations are a manifestation of the worst of the human ego. No accountability to anyone, completely self-absorbed, looking out for their own interests at the expense of anything else. There's probably some AI bot right now listening to what I'm saying, and even less people are going to know about me now. Roberto in Madrid. Good to see you, my friend. Sometimes I wish I missed you in classes, Roberto. I see your handsome face. Ava, hello, Ava. Oh, Ava has been with me a very long time. Rosario, also in Madrid. Victoria. Oh, one of my favorite people. I have so many favorite people. Hey G, can you speak about competitiveness? I was thinking on the flag issue and wondering if some part is innate to human beings or it's completely imposed by society. That's a great question. And some of us are sometimes oriented to it by conditioning, even competing with ourselves and others, not bothered at all. Like it's everywhere. It's in beautiful things like music and sports. Yeah, you know, there's at the root of all of this are things that are real. Yeah, there's a very healthy competitiveness, right? And it is healthy because it's actually supportive, right? It isn't the competitiveness that winner takes all. Right? It's kind of a mutual thing. It's like when I was a kid. Every day after school, right, in springtime when it got warm, a bunch of us guys would meet at the pump house, this place, this vacant field. Everybody would go over there. Somebody had a bat. Everybody had their baseball mitt and bat and ball, and we played baseball just about every day. Right? There were some that were really good. One in particular ended up going on to as a professional athlete. And then there were those that short and slow. But that's what we did, and it was competitive, right? We wanted to win, and we'd get angry, And this even happens later as adults. You'll see guys out there playing football or soccer. Its real name is football, and man, they're out there to win. I'm going to kick their ass. And then afterwards, you rib each other, be mad, make fun of each other, right? And then you go have a beer and forget about it because it's just part of camaraderie. It is the successful critters in the world have been successful because they learned how to work together. Lions and wolves, they will hunt in groups. Not always, but they will. And we've gotten to where we are as a species because of our collaboration and cooperativeness. Right? Now, if you look at it primitively, men on a hunt, right? It's really important that everybody do a specific thing at a specific time, but it's serving the interest of that. After a while, when you get into culture and farming, the whole thing changes. What was, in fact, just a temporary organization method becomes a hierarchy that somehow has to be imposed everywhere. If you look around, everything is top down. Everything. There's no democracy in corporations. They are completely driven top down. Somebody has all the power, the authority, they make all the choices. It's totally hierarchical. Now that's not natural. In nature, yes, there might be, but it takes shape and then it disappears. It is simply a way to organize the necessary cooperation, collaboration, to be more effective. If you look at the world of women at the same time, they didn't have that kind of hierarchy. It was much more horizontal. People did different things, and just where you were in life, if you were a grandparent or a child or an older sibling or something like that. When we get detached from our natural sense of things, and more in the mind, the ego becomes more and more powerful, more and more lusting after power, greed, and now it becomes like it says, no, this is the way it's supposed to be. I'm in charge. God said so, and so this is the way it's supposed to be. And so the competition now, you'll say that's all it is, and in American corporations and the like, after World War II, so many people who were in the war went into working in corporations and the like, that the whole military strategy, which is strictly hierarchical, starts getting imposed into the corporate. So they even use the metaphors of war. We're going to crush the competition and murder them and stuff like that, and cheer when the other guys go out of business and the like. So it's gotten extreme. It's lost its roots, so it has become psychotic. Quite literally, it's psychotic. Yeah. Institutionalized psychosis. So there's a certain natural sense, and it even happened in nature when food would get scarce. There's a certain amount of competition that has to take place, so that I survive when we can't all survive. But when you look at other cultures where there's all this abundance, they don't have that kind of. They don't have that. Don't have the same kind of real fierce competition over food. If you look down in places like in the South Pacific and much more, tropical places where the food is so abundant, they don't have to. But when you start going up into the north and it becomes scarce, then it might end up being a bit of a fight. But many cultures didn't do that. Even when it got tough, there was a way of they tried to just share everything that they had so everybody could survive if possible. So most of it, the extreme that we're in now, is purely imposed because an artificial power structure was created, and the ego doesn't want to let go of its power. And it's really that simple. So you'll find yourself wanting. Okay, this is subtle. If you're on this road for awakening, and looking at things like competition and cooperation, you're looking at it now from a place not of right and wrong, right, but of what works and what doesn't. What's really appropriate? What's life enhancing, and what is life destroying? And so there's innate in all of us that need to grow and expand. And we don't want that thwarted. And when I don't have that many opportunities to do that, because everything is so tightly shut down, I will feel, I can get angry, and I can get really fiercely competitive because it feels like there's a shortage, right? When in fact there isn't. So, wisdom. How do we acquire wisdom in a world that has no idea what it is, let alone interest in finding it? So, what I encourage everybody to do is to go directly into the sense of the feeling of competitiveness. Does it feel like it's life enhancing? like it's making things better? Or does it feel grabby, afraid, need to get my share? I'm going to go without, lacking. That's really at the root of it. We compete. The more we feel threatened, and the more we're going to be resorting to almost desperation. Go mad just because I got to survive at all costs. And at that point, what's moving us is no different than what moves a salamander or a snake with no sense of community, no sense of connection. So only the individual. Am I helping you at all here, Victoria? What is natural to us is our desire to grow and expand. At the root of that is our deep, deep desire to know ourselves as we are. To find that in us, which is not having to grow and expand. It doesn't have to become something else. It is complete in and of itself. You are complete in and of yourself. And out of that completeness comes this forever unfolding manifestation of the completeness. Whereas what gets twisted is completeness becomes something I have to attain. I'm incomplete and I have to get it. And so now, when in fact is the natural expansion out of your wholeness, becomes the sense of lack trying to become whole. And so the same impulse, perfectly natural for expansion, now becomes this fierce competition and struggle and strife. Find your completeness in you. And then it won't be competition anymore. Everything will be cooperation. Because who are you competing against? You're already whole. There is no competition anymore. There's only just the incredible desire to share it. To give of myself, because it's so complete and I have so damn much of it. I've got to spend it. I think it was Rumi. He said, this me is this tiny infinitesimal dot. How can it be so filled with this infinite love? This little speck is filled with so much love, so much to give, and this so much desire to give it. Is that helpful? So it's kind of wander off, thread after thread after thread. And let me know, Victoria. Yeah, you don't have. Victoria's a long-term student of mine as well, so I can say this. You're coming more and more to find the you that is uniquely you in manifestation. So where's there's no competition for you. You're one of a kind. And then beyond that, to the infinite essence of us all, from which we have all, every single form you experienced, and the experience of this body-mind life is the emanation of that one. It is the one, the only. Where's the competition? Hi, Jill. So good to see you. Yeah, David and Elaine. Do you always say Elaine and David? Was I always putting it backwards? Some kind of like unseen male chauvinistic thing? Or did you change it? No, you probably didn't change it. Well, anyway, hello to you guys. Victoria. Some of us are sometimes oriented by conditioning. Oh, yeah. Yes. And where's it coming from? It's coming from the sense of I've got to struggle to be whole. I need to take this banner down, now don't I? I go away. I don't need you anymore. Whoops. I don't need you anymore. Yeah, that's what it feels like, right? That, oops, boy, it scrolled down on me all of a sudden. Where are we? Yeah, yes. Yeah, it shows up in music and sports. There's a funny joke amongst musicians. How many guitarists does it take to change a light bulb? 10. 1 to change the light bulb, and 9 to say, I can do that. It's funny that meeting a lot of real professional musicians, even when I made my own album, I hired all sorts of people to play on it, and like just living in New York and getting to know those folks, they were not competitive. They were the most helpful people you could possibly imagine. Because they weren't in competition with anybody. They'd gotten to a point where it was all just their voice, and nobody else was like that. And they just did their voice, and that was amazing, just amazing. There wasn't any competition. Competition comes out of a sense of lack, the sense of scarcity. Yeah, and so, and it's just the way our culture has gone to create artificial scarcity, keep the price up. We have the capacity to just provide for everyone on the planet a very comfortable way of living without destroying the planet. But that would mean that we'd all be sitting at a place of equality, and the ego does not like that. We could do it. We could do it. We could easily make heaven on earth. We have everything we need except the will. Because the ego is born in scarcity, believes in scarcity, it loves scarcity, and when it's the one controlling the scarcity, it feels so powerful. And it goes insane. Robbie in Romania. Ava with slower pace. Just like me, dear G. Ida, hello, Ida. Nay, I have missed you. Where have you been? We've been taking attendance. Oh no, yeah, nee. And then we have, Banks Fortnight. Yay, lovely. Good to see you again. I have a little Geneva? I'm not going to try. I'm trying to figure out where I can put this stuff. How do I prepare the mind for self-realization? What a lovely question. The answer may surprise you. It's not the mind that gets prepared for self-realization, because the mind is not capable of self-realization. Mind is a tool, it's an instrument, it's a very useful one, but it is only able to operate in images and symbols and the like. It never ever experiences anything directly. It's always secondary, so it's always conceptual and ideas and the like, right? Self-realization is not an idea. It can't be conceived of. Now why is that? Well, I've used this example before, and I think it's very helpful. I can see that picture there, right? I can touch it and I can feel it, and then I can form an image of it, a memory of the experience of it, right? Now, the memory of the experience of it is a likeness, right? But it's not actually the experience, is it? it is a representation of it. It's basically a YouTube video, right? Going on. It's not actually the experience. Love? My granddaughter. Fatally cute. I mean, I was like, oh, jeez. Okay. Right. So, my granddaughter was just here, right? There she was. I'm experiencing her now, right? It's a real thing. And now she's gone. And now it's just a memory in my mind, right? Now, the memory can be a very good likeness, but it's not the original, is it? So, the mind is forever confined to the conceptual, to memories, to thoughts, and the like. And then it makes associations, puts meaning on things, making things mean what it thinks it's supposed to, and the like. And where's your swimsuit? I don't think it's down here, love. Did you look in the laundry? Because it's not in our room. I mean,
I was digging and digging and digging.
Yeah.
And I didn't know where it was.
And you didn't know where it was. Maybe your daddy knows where it is. No, you need your swimsuit to be in the bathtub. Well, you could just not wear nothing in the bathtub. You can do that too.
But that looked like a boy.
Oh, okay. I don't quite understand that, but yeah, I get it. Yeah. Children are a high priority interrupt. Anyway, right. So I think you can see there's a difference between the concept of thing and the thing, right? Now, we can go a step further and say, okay, if my thought of it is just a thought of it, and it's going to fade and the like, and maybe even forget. But I can go back to the original and look at it and go, oh, yeah, that's right. That's what it looks like. And now I refresh the image, right? But it's still not the actual thing, is it? Okay. So now you have thoughts of yourself, don't you? That have formed over time. This is what I'm like, and all of those. And they're just thoughts. They're not you, are they? There is a you about which they are thoughts. But here's the difference, and here's why this non-dual self-inquiry is so infinitely valuable and also a bit mysterious. Because I can go and look at the picture to true up my image of it. How do I go and look at me? Everything in our visual, our senses take in, there's a subject-object relationship, right? There's me looking at that. But what happens if I'm both the subject and the object? I can't look at me. I can't step outside of me and look. So I find all the images of me are actually someone else's perception of me, that I'm not ever seeing me. I've never seen my own face. I've never seen my back. Only images of it. Where do I go to find the original me that is not my thoughts? And since I've never been able to see it, every single idea I have of who I am is inaccurate because it's never had a direct experience of me. It's always been secondhand. So I've got images, secondhand images of secondhand images. That's all there is. So now, self-realization is seeing yourself directly. Wow, how do you do that? I can't look at me directly. And so that becomes the whole point of non-dual self-inquiry, is finding how to look at yourself not as one thing looks at another, but as a direct experience. And the place where it starts is simply something we can recognize that is not a concept, it's not dualistic, it's not one thing recognizing another. And that is the sense of your own existence. I am. Now, I can say I am, and that's a thought, but it's pointing to the fact, isn't it? I am, and I know that I am. Now that might not seem like a whole lot, but if you start giving that I am attention, you'll begin to watch it expand. Just like anything you give your attention to, you really care about, it's going to grow, get bigger. It's going to take over more of your perception, your fascination, curiosity, interest, even love. The same is true here. It's the first step of having a direct experience of you as a non-dual recognition. Not as one thing knowing another, but as you knowing you. And so the preparation of the mind, what preparation there is for the mind is to recognize the mind is useful. A well-crafted, precise intellect can take you up to the boundary of the mind, but you have to step beyond it because the mind can't go any further. It is dualistic by nature. It has to have two. It cannot conceive of one, because all knowledge is one thing described in terms of another. It's all relative. What's there that is not relative to anything else? Self-referential being. That's self-realization. Self-realizing itself. And if you just recognize that this sense of I am, my own existence, that even the words I am are only pointing to, you've had the first self-realization. A direct experience of yourself. It's not a concept. It's not an object you're looking at. It is the sense of being. And the sense of being and the being are not two. Is that working for you? Is that helping? Because the whole this whole path of non-dualities, it is so simple our minds can't grasp it, because what's simpler than one? But how do you describe one only? You can't. Not that way. But can you know it? Yeah, but not the intellectual knowing. It's the direct knowing. This is what Ramana Maharshi referred to as the heart. Just the essence, the foundation, the basis, the root. Me, just me, known as me, without defining me in terms of anything other than me. To do that requires me learning to distinguish between just a concept and a direct experience, and to recognize that I have formed my whole sense of identity, which means the way I live, the way I act, the things I do, all of that is nothing but a thought, and not actually you. And then, little by little, just kind of whittling away at all that. It's like, okay, well, that's not me. And the simplest guideline that I got from my teacher was the simple fact that you can prove it. It's obvious. It's self-evident. If I can perceive it, it isn't me, because I'm perceiving it, right? So if it's something appearing in my perception, then it's not me. It might be trying to describe me, even talking about me, maybe even saying the word I, but it's not me. I'm here looking at it, which then naturally leads to the corollary of that. Well, if whatever I perceive isn't me, that means I cannot perceive me. I can't know myself as a thing. And it's such a powerful tool, because it's, if I perceive it, it isn't actually me. And I want to know what me is. I want to know me directly, without an intermediary or some kind of other kinds of description, right? How is that? I Ivilo in Geneva? It's kind of a thing for me. I really want to be able to say people's names. I know these are not real names, but I have a lot of students who English is not their first language, and their names are different. And I just did. I even heard my own teacher say that the other day. It's just he wants to just say it correctly. It's an act of respect and honor. I want to say your name the way it is. So, but that might not actually even be your name. It may be like something I can't even pronounce. Mad, thank you for answering. Almost in tears. Those tears are the opening of the heart to recognize that it feels like forgiveness, doesn't it? It's like, oh my God, I'm not that fucked up. I was trained to be this way. I didn't know any better. And there is a way out. Come and join us. I can't ask everything. You put so much effort for free. Understand the bondage between me and inner freedom is a price that I can't pay. Please, if you can find a way for me, do help. Reach out just send an email to admin@gpwalsh.com. I usually find a way to help people in some way, and me or Christina will get back to you. So I know what it feels like. It feels like you're hemmed in all directions, and there's no way out. But there always is. There always is. That's the beauty of the truth of it. It's where you were programmed, not what you are. And so there is this. The truth of you is still here. The reality of you, the beauty of you, your natural innocence and love is still here, buried under the conditioning, but it's there. And that truth is what we feel is grace. And those tears come of relief. That's the touch of grace. This non-dual path is not sterile. It is not cold. It is not just, it's all an illusion. It's just bursting with love. Because the nature of the self, the realization of self-realization, is that the nature of being itself is love. What else could oneness feel for itself other than love? And all of this, everything that has come into manifestation, is because of love's love of itself. God looking in the mirror and seeing you. Nay, Heiji, when our memories, especially when traumatic and intrusive, are so frequent, it can be so easy to identify with the person that experienced them. Yes, it can. Yeah. It's heightened when for years we're constantly living in the past and repeats of it, and it becomes safe, all we know, and challenging to detach from. Could you touch on the balance between the saying our memories make us who we are, and just let go and move on? How can we honor our emotions and experiences while being grounded in being and feeling safe doing so? Also, any advice on feeling safe to grieve the past and letting go of what we've outgrown or can no longer experience? Boy. Leave it to Nay to, let's give G an easy one. Yeah, thanks, yeah. Well, as you already know, you can't do it on your own. Remember that one of the ways in which conditioning keeps itself in place is through the alienation of others. I mean, it's the alienation from our caregivers that set us into that's the trauma, this place that was not safe, right? And afraid to expose itself, right? This false persona gets created, the ruse, all about that we then later identify. My sense of identity forms around the conditioning, completely ignorant of all of the rest of me. And inherent in that is shame. There's a sense of knowing, not in the head, but in the body, that it's like, it's not supposed to be this way, and I had to betray myself in order to live. I had to stop being me in order to be able to survive. And there's this, and that wound, that's the deepest wound. That's the existential trauma. That's at the root of all of the rest of them. Right? And there's shame there, and betrayal and all sorts of stuff, none of which you're really responsible for. But that knowingness has not yet penetrated everything. And so conditioning wants to hide itself. It doesn't want to be seen because it's afraid of the exposure. So remember, the ruse, the false persona you're presenting to the world, that takes so much energy to maintain that you forget that it's not even you, right? Does not want to be threatened. It doesn't want to be questioned. And so it alienates itself. It's a big deal when you join a group, join a sangha, join my immersions, because you're in with others, and little by little you feel the power of being in the presence of folks who are there to support you. They love you. They're going through the same shit and are happy to see, my God, it's not just me. And so, and it's part of the creation of an environment, inner and a family outwardly, that is now doing for you what the family of origin didn't do. In fact, did exactly the opposite, and creating the space where it's safe for you. And from that, we learn from each other as we're doing it, how to internalize it. Not consciously, right? We're not, I'm going to do this and this, and it'll be internalized. The exposure to it. Just more and more you're in a place that it's safe, it internalizes, right? Which it should have done when we were kids, but it wasn't safe, so it couldn't do that. So then, now, I am answering, I'm answering your question, because it is all about the recognizing that the only problem is that we've not completely seen through the identity yet that's still attached to the memories, right? Attached to having a position towards those memories. Either I don't want to give them up, or I can't, damn it, somebody's got to acknowledge it. They've got to acknowledge it, which of course they're never going to do. Right? And there's still, the sense of identity still wants to hide. It still wants to justify itself, simply because it is inherently unstable because it's not really who you are. It's a false version of you that's been believed, and so it's going to be inherently unstable and inherently, what's the word I'm looking for? Afraid of exposure. But, when we get into the group and I even say something, repeat after me, I am a fuck up. Oh, there it is. Announce it for the whole world. Expose it. And you find that it's a paper tiger. So, when you get to a level of maturity that you're getting to, where you're seeing all of this stuff, right? It's time to recognize you're going to have to be patient. Right? Take your mind off of of what we imagine pure freedom is going to look like, and instead just right here in this moment, stay here present. Okay. Oh, there's a memory of a traumatic event, and I can feel it in the body. Okay, now just stand back and look at it. Remember, if you can perceive it, it's not you. You're experiencing it. What you experience is not you. Now, the program, the conditioning underlying the memories is that there's a meaning attached to these feelings, which makes them feel as if, I won't be free until they go away, because we've attached the meaning to them, and an ideal that freedom means, I don't have these feelings anymore. What freedom is that, those feelings are there. They don't mean what I thought they meant. They're just feelings at that point. And when they become just feelings without meaning, they begin to lose their strength. But what gets revealed is our sense of having been wronged and need to have it verified. Right? But then you discover that even when you are getting it verified by people who are awake and awakening, not the family of origin, that there's still something that wants to get something out of the others, that have wronged you. And, well, that would be wonderful, wouldn't it? It'd be great if you could go back to your parents and say, this is what you did, and they go, oh my God, I'm so sorry, it's my fault. Right? It ain't going to happen. Even if it did, it would not undo the programming. Just that. There'd be a sense there of feeling justified. But that's it. You get nothing out of it. Now, it's heightened when for years constantly living in the past repeats of it. Yes, when you're not aware of it. Okay. Notice there's something that really just wants to hold on to it. Why? Because it's identified. First it was identified as the one who was victimized. Then it identifies more now with the one who's free of, trying to get free of that. Right? But it's still defining itself in terms of the abuse. Can you see that? And so it wants to resolve this and that and this and that. Right? The idea of just let it go, right, is foreign to it. Or unless that sense of identity now becomes the identity that's let it go, and so it can have some pride in it. Right? It's the identity that is the mischief maker. Not the behaviors, not the thoughts. It is the sense of identity. Right? To the real letting go means all of these feelings are here, but they're not who I actually am. They're just feelings that are there, echoes of the past, stuff that, conditioning that took place because of what I experienced. But what I experienced never touched the actual I that experienced it. It formed an image in my mind of who I thought I was that I then believed. And there's an energy in all of us that wants to hold on to that image, even if it sucks mud, because we want an identity. But the fact of the matter is that isn't your identity. That isn't who you are. Like the sky has never ever been influenced by the clouds, by the storms, by the hurricanes. You, the actual real you, has never been touched by what has been experienced. You are the pure witness. Now, it is safe there for grief to come up. The sky is not afraid of the storm. The self, the reality, is not afraid of, nor condemning or criticizing of the experience which it itself has created. And so it's simply an act of kindness to say to yourself, yep, all that stuff really did happen. It had this effect on me. And I give myself permission, loving permission, to grieve, to feel loss, sadness, pain. Right? But grief, loss, pain are finite. They have an end. And not some going on perpetually. So I let them be there. And you watch, grief will come up, but then it'll go. It may come up again, but then it'll go. But eventually, it doesn't need to come up anymore. It's done. It's done its job. Because grief is simply the body adjusting. That's all it is. So we don't need to fight the grief. Let ourselves feel it. But don't get attached to grieving. Don't get attached to the emotional upheaval. Just let it be there. And remember, even though it's hard to imagine, you are actually sitting in the place that is witnessing the grieving and are free of the grieving. So free that you don't have an argument with it being there. That's the real freedom, is not when everything quiets down and everything feels good. It's when you're just so lovingly present with whatever comes up that nothing moves you. That is, nothing moves you from your place of pure love, pure being. Because in there is the compassion for all life, for everyone. There's nothing there that rejects. There's no indifference there. It's the strangest thing. It's a completely compassionate, empathetic detachment. Feeling all the love and empathizing, and at the same time absolutely free of it. This is the nature of the not two. It isn't one side or the other. It's transcendent, and transcendent means, it doesn't mean this goes away and this gets better. It means it's in a place that subsumes both of them and unites them. into the singleness of experience, the unity of being. And so, yeah, feeling safe. Remember, my love, that if you can't do it for yourself, which then come back, come see us. You know where we are. You know, it's fine with a lot of students. Okay, I want to try this on my own. Okay, good. But don't think you have to. And don't think, I'm on my own, I've got to do. No, because part of this path of awakening is the Sangha. Those that are supporting each other in awakening. So in Buddhism, it's called the three treasures of Buddhism: the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. The Buddha, or the Dharma, being the absolute pure truth, beyond even the teaching of the truth. The Buddha is the manifestation of it, the embodiment of it in form, right? Derived from the true Dharma, speaking the Dharma, teaching the Dharma, but the teaching, it draws its power from the absolute truth, which is the Dharma, taking shape that's appropriate for the time and age and culture and all of that. It's not absolute in and of itself. And then the Sangha are those that are striving with all their hearts to live it, to discover it, to wake up to it. Those are the three treasures, and all are necessary. All are needed. It's funny that it's a path that is totally unique and individual. Nobody else can do the inquiry other than you, and at the same time it is communal. So meditate together. We'll engage each other together. So it's this mixture of engagement with others, doing it yourself. Engage with others, do it yourself. So sometimes I will give advice to students too. Don't listen or watch to so many videos or listen to so many things. Listen to some, get it, it's something, and then take it inside by yourself and chew on it, chew on it, chew on it. Or he said that I am not anything I can perceive. How? Okay. He's a real master, so, and he's not the only master that said that, like, or very similar. So, okay, so I'm going to take him at his word, I'm going to trust him, and I'm going to puzzle over it, I'm going to chew on it. How is that so? That's the best way to make use of this glut of information that we have. Because our minds love being entertained. They love collecting good, juicy tidbits. Oh God, that's so inspiring. And they want more of that. Instead of, okay, great, but take it deep. Yeah. Take one thing, right? Dig one well 100 feet deep, not 10 feet deep. One phrase is enough. Nisargadatta didn't have long conversations or innumerable meetings with his guru. His guru died not that long after his first encounter with him. I think there was only a few. But he just took it, and he chewed on it, and he chewed on it. He trusted him. He checked it for himself, and he found it's true. What he told me was true. You're not who you think you are. You are the Para Brahman, the ultimate, the absolute being. Huh? Okay. How could that possibly be true? And his guru said, just focus on the sense I am. and don't give reality to anything other than yourself. Wow, what an instruction. There's some other things there that can pop up, but he did. And he didn't just accept, okay, as a belief. Oh, this is my guru, therefore that's what it is. And you hear people do that. This is what my guru said, and this is what my teacher said, and the like. Then they argue which teacher is right and wrong. He said, okay, I trust him. Is this really true? How could this be true? And so he just looked and looked and looked. And as time went on, he got more absorbed into it. There were indications that it was true. And sometimes he'd just get lost in it for hours. Just, I am. What does that mean? I am. Piercing it, piercing it, piercing it, piercing it. That's the way to approach it. Okay. And you'll find in that it's not a denial of our feelings. You'll find these very strong feelings, right? And it won't be, how do I get rid of them or reframe them or something? It's like these feelings are there. It's like, okay, this is the totality of experience. It's got to fit within this big picture. The truth can't become the truth by, explaining away a whole bunch of stuff. Well, that's all an illusion, so it's just this over here. It's got to explain the whole deal, or it's not the truth. It's got to be the Swiss Army knife. It's got to cover everything. Otherwise, it's partial. It's just another theory. It's just another idea. Okay? The truth must be the truth of all things. And that's what we're here for. And if you're fortunate enough to even encounter this kind of conversation, it means you're ready for it. And so give yourself to it. I hope I'm answering your name. Sometimes I can't control where the answers come from. I'm not really making them up on the spot, and I'm kind of trusting that they're touching in you the things that need to be touched, just to remind you of your innate goodness, and that your life isn't about just trying to overcome the traumas and everything. It's that's something that just happens, right? And we don't have to struggle so much. We don't have to think of ourselves as this wounded, as traumatized and the like, because you, the real you, never were. All that is training and conditioning of the body-mind complex. Awakening is when something wakes up that recognizes that it is conditioning, and little by little begins to realize that I'm not the conditioning. All that stuff didn't touch me. And from here, there is the power to go back and heal and liberate the energy that's been stuck in conditioning. But it is the awakening that heals and makes the adjustments. Alright, I'm going to continue on here. Sipping on my beverage. Victoria, yes, I was thinking how we are deformed by standard education in a certain way, yeah. I also associate competition with the goal of being the best, and what for? Like you see music competition. And what's the point? I'm so attracted to watch all that stuff. It's so entertaining. Or ice skating. Everyone competing are good. Really, I mean, yeah, me too. It's funny, even my son, he doesn't have the same kind of interest in music that I did, and the like. And he isn't really into sports like he was when he was younger. But he has this just total appreciation of just the incredible levels of skill. So you'll see him watching gymnastics or some singer, right? Some race car driver. I mean, all these different things, because it's just how amazing what humans are actually capable of, and yet how distorted it can all get. There was a beautiful thing I heard about Artur Rubinstein. Many of you are not familiar with him. He was one of the greatest concert pianists ever. Him and Vladimir Horowitz and the like, and they were contemporaries. And he was Rubinstein was particularly well known for his Beethoven interpretations and like it. Amazing guy, an amazing story. I read his autobiography a long time ago. Anyway, he was a judge in one of these music competitions, which are all these youngsters, really. Because you win a competition, you may get some concert tours and the like. And I mean, it's just kind of part of the way the industry has structured itself. It doesn't have to be that way, but it has been. So he was a judge. And there were two winners of it, and after the judging was done, they won their prize and everything. And he took them aside and sat down. He said to him, "The two of you can now play better than anybody else on the planet. Now you can learn how to make music." I'm sure that was stunning to them. But I get it. Because music isn't about the skill. It's about the heart. It's about I had a piano teacher his piano teacher was from the old country, Russian, in Canada, who had migrated from the Soviet Union at the time. And he's one of, hotshot. He had, 23, and he's got all the technique. And he says, "I want to learn to play Beethoven's Appassionata." She says, "No, I will not teach that to you." He says, "What?" He says, "I can play it." She says, "You have the skill." "Yes, you can play it." He says, "But you must know life first." He said he learned it 10 years later. She was right. You can't really play it until you have tasted the bitter and the sweet of life. Then you'll get what Beethoven was actually writing. Got laughs and hearts. Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to put that on the screen. Lovely interlude from your granddaughter. Did you hear? I mean, just hopeless, isn't it? It's just fatally cute. What can I say? Just kind of like, oh man, really? Really? Yeah. Wow. Ida, so good to see you. And so it doesn't matter, Elaine, David, and Elaine. So I'm forgiven for my. What an adorable interruption. Yeah. Yeah. We have to be reminded by life that life happens, and our insistence on trying to control everything is nuts. Life is the manifestation of the spontaneity of God. It will always be a surprise. Victoria, yes. So, I can't just let her come in because little by little she'll just want more and more and more attention. And she's been getting so much better at that. Can't put anything referring to a link or email, right? Okay. if you want to send an email to me, I think I got my email here. Banners. Let's see. No. Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. It's on the screen. So you can write that. It's really easy. admin@gpwalsh.com. The link is really easy too. I try to keep them all really, really simple, so that it's easy to remember. That's why I'm GP Walsh instead of something much more elaborate. I tried to get just gp.com. Yeah, it was too late. Couldn't get that. Yeah. We do have, let's see. Oh, those of you who might be interested, let me change this. Oops, wait a second. Cancel. All right, let me grab this. And copy it, because some of you might be interested in just the Sangha, because every Wednesday we meet. This one over there, right? Yeah. Every Wednesday we meet, and it is just non-dual self-inquiry. So let's put this one up there, and you can join that one. It's a monthly thing. It's not much, $47 a month, and we meet every Wednesday, and that, so I can keep the worlds of energy healing and self-inquiry from blurring each other, because you'll find people that are using non-dual, concepts rather than non-dual recognition. Concepts really is a way of avoiding emotional pain and life, and you'll see people in emotional healing that are stalled. They can't get any further because they need to connect it up to something deeper, something that's beyond just the therapeutics of symptom relief. Both are needed, and I found my mission in life is to try to bridge that gap. Yeah. And so I keep them separate. There's the EFT program, and then there is Self-Inquiry Sangha, which is not a program. It's not about that kind of education. It is just we get together and we look. We learn how to look unprejudiced, to discern between that which is a concept and that which is a direct experience, and to just keep probing. Right? Keep probing, keep persisting until you know and you know you know. And you don't stop till you do. So, is that helpful there, folks? Oh, the microphone. Well, let's see. What's going on here? Can't put anything to a link. Oh, there you go. Very clever. Very clever, Christina. That's weird. But they let me put a link in, right? Yeah, I guess. Well, Domitilya. Thank you for showing up, GP. You're very welcome. Thank you for being here, having a place to somebody to show up to. Because I can't talk to me about this. What's a teacher without a student? It doesn't exist. Yeah. Hey, Sheik. I want to receive guidance for how I should do this job I want to do. I realized recently that I'm not able to accept my current situation. Then I don't have a job that my husband is taking care of me. I have guilt and humiliation. I want to receive guidance and abundance. Okay, I can give you an abundance of guidance. Right? If you mean abundance is anything else, I don't have that. Silver and gold have I none, but what I have I give to you. That's St. Peter. First off, there's a recurring pattern for you, Faith, right? of a dissatisfaction with things. Right? I'm going to give you one thing to do. One simple thing to do. Focus all your attention on letting go of all the ideas you have about the way it should be, the way you should be, the way your circumstances should be. Right? Because there's this argument now, my husband shouldn't have to take care of me. I can remember a time when the only thing you could focus on, the fact is you didn't have a husband, you didn't have a relationship, you were stuck in this country, that country, you wanted to be in another country, and now it's all there. But notice the satisfaction is still grinding away. So you have enough evidence now to know that it's not the circumstances that is causing your distress. So let go of the way things are supposed to be, what you think they're supposed to be. It doesn't mean I have to say, okay, I have to like this and like that and I got to do it. It's okay. There's a natural desire for us to grow. But what happens with that natural desire for us to grow is we get all sorts of conditions the way it should be and then all sorts of self-judgment and all sorts of self-criticism, and we lose the joy of and even the gratitude for the incredible benefits and bounty and things that have come to you. Because suddenly they're demeaned. And that's because there's this sense that somehow there's this circumstance I can get myself into that's going to be satisfying. It's not true. There is no such thing. Dissatisfaction feeds dissatisfaction, and that's all that will ever produce. There's no magic ring. There's no golden ring out there. There's no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. A beautiful rainbow that comes and goes. What you're looking for is here. So start with letting go of the way you think it should be, and then looking and remembering what it was like at one time and how much you have, how much grace has given to you. And go and really appreciate it. You could say, oh, be grateful, but I don't. It's okay. I got to be grateful now. No, it's not. Don't turn it into a task. Take the scales off your eyes so you can see what's actually here, and then the appreciation of recognizing the loving hand of God right here, right now. That's the real gratitude. It's not artificial. You see it for yourself, and it just opens your heart automatically. And from there will come the trust that the growing faith and trust that eventually becomes just a knowingness that there is a divine hand. Grace is active in your life. Always has been, always will be. And that's the satisfaction, the fearlessness and the courage and the curiosity to enter more deeply into the self-inquiry, which reveals all things. So, yeah. Let yourself be taken care of. How about that? Just shower him with appreciation and love for loving you so much that he wants to do that for you. And then let yourself be filled with love for what you can do for him. Maybe it isn't a job. Maybe there's a whole bunch of other stuff you can do for him. Or maybe it is. Or maybe it's something smaller. Who knows? Just let love move you rather than discontent, rather than self-judgment. Let your life be the very presence of love that is the true nature of all of us. The infinite objectless love manifests itself as you. as your capacity, your ability, your desire to give love. Where does that come from? It comes from the absolute reality of the oneness of love. Love as one. There's no object. It is just its nature. And it literally makes many in order for that love to become made manifest. That is your human life. Embrace it. Love you, Faith. Med did send an email. Okay. I will indeed. To Matilda, my absence is your presence. In a way, there's no room for me, ego, and God. Yeah, there's no room for the version of you that's not really you, the concept of you, right? Right? It's just, because it's just a concept. Yeah. There's room for it as a concept. There's no room for believing that it's you. That's what the ego is. Without that, the concepts are there. Fine, it's great. I can describe me, describe you, knowing that that's not you. That's not actually you. It's just how you appear in this moment, which will be different in the next moment, and it'll be different in the next moment after that. It's amazing, human life. There are no things, just flow. Everything is just a flow in constant transformation. Yeah. No birth, no death. the famous writing of Thich Nhat Hanh, the cloud never dies. He's talking about his own body. The body dies. It's 80% water, right? What happens? Well, the water feeds trees, evaporates, goes up into the sky, and makes a cloud. And now it's a cloud. Right? And now the cloud comes over and it rains and comes down and goes into a well somewhere, comes out of your faucet, and now you're drinking Thich Nhat Hanh in your tea. Just transformation, no things. The mind makes things. There are no things. There's just this incredible flow of life, and the center of it, that which is the unchanging center around which the flow flows, is not a thing. It is the reality of you, which is not a thing, can't be conceived of, can't be known in that way. It's known by this. Look around. Everything is that. Wherever the eye lands, it sees the face of God. Everything is that. That's the expression of it. Not as an entity in and of itself. You might say that love simply ponders her own nature, and out of that the universe happens. We are God, pondering God. This is what I am like. Oh, Nay, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. So is Ivy and Ida and all. And thank you for being here today, dearest Jean. Glad you could make it, Ava. I know you've been. Yeah. Well, me too. Me too. Yeah. So, on that note, everybody, be gentle with yourselves, really. We're not here in this human life for it to be a perpetual attempt at self-improvement or fixing or making things better. Chill out, sit back. Yeah, things need to be done, but let's not become career fixers. Let grace, which is just a particular shape love takes in a moment, to touch you in ways that you will understand. Let that do the fixing. And you'll find you don't need to be fixed. And actually none of this needs to be fixed. But what appears to be fixing is just the shift in perception that now sees it all as the face of God. And you, seeing the face of God, are also the God that is seeing, the self that is seeing. So, thank you all, my loves. Much quieter here today than I expected. The heater that usually sounds like a jet signal didn't turn on the whole time. And we only had the interruption of the most delightful little voice. Looking for a bathing suit. Because, and of course, I need my bathing suit to take a bath, to be in the bathtub. I said, well, you don't have to. You don't have to wear clothes to be in the bathtub. She said, no, it's like a boy. That's like a boy. Didn't quite get it, but okay. They're very happy they're not boys. Both of them. Thank you, all my loves. Thank you. Till next time. Namaste.